Welcome to the Outside the Business Boxes podcast, where we're talking about how to ignite your business today for the future using systems for everything you do in your business to make your life, your employees' lives, and your customers' lives easier for you to ultimately enjoy your business and, of course, make more money. I'm your host, Chad Murray. Thanks for joining me here at Outside the Business Box podcast. I am Chad Murray, your host, and I want you to listen at your own risk today because we are going to get in some trouble today. I'm going to talk about the $1 to $3 million mark and what you do, or at least I did, to break through. So this is a week after, as I record this, I just got back from Vegas, the NCSG conference, convention, and the who's who was all there, and I, of course, hung around with a lot of my bigger companies, which I love that time because I like to be the little guy. I like to listen to the guys who have $7 to $20 million companies, just mingling with them, having a beer and having a cigar, and I did. I didn't get as much as I'd like to at time with them, but one of my new cool buddies, Mark Stoner, and I, who have started up our own little business together that will be debuting this year, late or beginning of next year, with our new software called Service Galaxy. It's not just for chimney companies, but there is definitely a chimney aspect to it. But I got to hang around Mark, and so we were at one of the party things, after hour type deals that the NCSG was putting on, and as we were doing that, another chimney company guy, Corey Flowers, came up and was talking to us, and me and Mark were both trading off advice on what to do to break through to get up past $1 million to $2 million and go from there. And Mark talks about it. I'm sure all of you are listening to his podcast. If not, you can find the Blue Collar Gold podcast on Apple and all the other Spotify and everything else. And so we sat there and tag teamed on giving him advice for about 10, 15 minutes. And it was funny, me and Mark share such similar stories in the way we built our business. But I think we had kind of a little bit of a not quite thought about it the same way on how I got past 1 million and how he got past 1 million. And it's just a small thing I think we talked about, but Mark was talking about how, you strategically, get through 1 million to get to bust to 1.5 to 2 million, and was really talking, how he did it and how he advises and consults people to do it. And then, I kind of gave him the space to complete his thought on that. And then here comes Mr. Gruff Chad, the way I talk. And it was not a rough time for me like it is for most people. Because what did I do? Well, I went and got myself in trouble, and I just went and bought trucks before I even had people. I mean, I needed to do, for me to do $2 million, I decided I needed at least 8 trucks to do it. And so I went and literally bought 6 trucks after I already had a few, traded a few in. So I went from, I believe, 4, I think I had 5 trucks at the time. And I traded in a few and bought more, and we had 8 trucks now. I only had, this is funny, I believe at the time, when we were in the eat your kill mode, where if you inspected it and estimated it, you also did the work at the time. So I needed 8 people to do it, or 8 trucks, and I needed to do that. And this was the time that we did switch to estimator / what we call educators that went out and did estimates and sweeps. 2 guys doing the work, specialized between the 2. And so I just took the gamble to get through, and I didn't know the 1 million to 2 million mark was hard to do. I had no idea. I just felt as busy as we were for 6 months out of the year, yet really dead the other 6 months of the year, that I can make as much money as possible from September through February, that I could make more money if I added those 2 to 3 trucks, that we could really feel safe and have enough money saved up in that time. Didn't quite work out that way, but it started a path to where I was hiring and training, and boy, was my training bad back then. We won't even get into that. But I got 8 trucks for that first year, back when I did this. And when I did this, we did make a ton of money for what we did then. So, I mean, we hadn't even quite hit 1 million yet, and we went from 1 million to like 1.6 or 1.7 in 1 year. We almost doubled our sales, literally, and did it with about a 3, I don't know. Since I separated, I found 2 or 3. I think I had a good 3 salesmen and 5 trucks out doing the work, and we pretty much crushed to 1.6 in the very next year without maybe adding one more truck. We pushed to 2 million pretty quick. It was really the way I did it, and it would be harder to do now if you don't have a good training process in. But right now it's April, and if you are any size company and you're in your slower time, I know a lot of you might even have summertime businesses, so we talk about in the wintertime. That's when, if you can just go with the gusto and do it, and get the trucks and get the people in it and just go there, you're going to go through it fast. Now, I said that to Corey at the time, and Mark looks at me and kind of gave me kind of an eyebrows up, and says, and I looked at him, well, you got to do it strategically. You do got to do. I went fast. I just knew that as busy as I was in the wintertime, that I could really kill it better than when I had 4 or 5 trucks, estimating and then scheduling to do the jobs, and, way slower of a process than if you just take 3 guys, train them how to sell, which you can train people to sell and inspect pretty quickly, especially back the kind of chimney company I was back then. A little longer now it would take, but even if you did it in 8 weeks to train someone to really thoroughly do an inspection, it's a good start to get them out, as long as you keep training. Keep training, keep on them, keep on their estimates, make sure that you're looking at every estimate. There's a whole system to that. But if you're that guy listening to this podcast round and you got 4 or 5 trucks, maybe even 6 trucks, maybe only 3, and you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to train these people? Well, I'll tell you right now, I guess for me, when I bought the trucks, I now have a payment on these trucks. I now have insurance on these trucks. And I need to put butts in these seats to make money. So it motivated me to go super fast to hire people. And it made it a point where I had to do it. And by the way, I was a truck at that time. I was one of the salesmen at the time. Not for long. It was about the same time I was getting out of doing all the work. But as a matter of fact, I think I did that year, but I only do like 1 or 2 appointments in the morning, and then I had to take myself out because I had to look at everybody's jobs, had to solve quality control issues, which wasn't that big of a deal because we weren't that complicated of a company. And so as I looked at you, all you guys now trying to figure out the bust through 1 million to 2 million, you need something to spark you. And that risk factor of purchasing trucks or hiring more, there's another way to do it, which I would suggest. And I know it's hard to hire right now, but you've got to try, and you got to never give up and keep going, is hire more people than you need. I've said this a million times in a podcast, but if you need 2 people, you need 5 to find the right people. But you got to take that risk and overemphasize whatever you're trying to do so that you are motivated to do it. I guarantee you, if you're a 4-truck company now and you go buy 3 trucks right now, you're going to be motivated to get those trucks on the road. Even in the time that it is now of finding a hard time to find people to work. You will. You'll get it down. and you'll be able to separate some of your guys to put into these trucks and promote people and get people in there doing it. Learn to do easy trucks. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. So really, that to me, when I say it was fast moving, it was a risk. But when you put yourself under the gun, are you really at a risk? It feels like a risk. But is it a risk? Think about it. Bet on yourself, and how many times have you actually lost? If you're listening to this podcast, I'm going to bet not very many. Because you're a successful business owner, no matter if you're one truck or 40 truck operation, you're a successful person. And when you did fail, it typically wasn't on something that was a risky scenario, because you worked your ass off to make it come to fruition. We've all done bad things. So when it comes to risk, I'll tell you a risk thing I did. I started a garage door business back in 2001. So I come home one day from working chimneys. I was a truck at the time. And opened the garage door, and the damn thing fell right on my wife's car. Sitting there on top of her car, and I'm thinking, well, this ain't gonna be that hard. I went to touch the garage door, and immediately it was like, there's no way in hell I'm getting it back on this track. It was a 17 footer, 17 by 8, I believe, footer, and there's size of a garage door. No way. So what do? I go to the phone book. This is really, Google is very new at the time. Internet was fairly new even at that time. So got on there, called the garage door company repair place. Guy shows up an hour or two later, looks at me, says $289, and I'll have it back on track. And I said, okay, I got no choice, do it. He does it. 15 minutes later, he's coming to ask for $289. I'm like, that just took you that long? He's like, yeah, it's done. And I said, and I had that light bulb moment as an entrepreneur. And I asked the guy, how many of these do you do a day? He goes, well, I usually work the after hour stuff. And I said, well, am I getting after hour charges? He didn't say that on the phone. He's like, no, it's just we get more calls. People coming home at 6 o'clock, or the doors, springs break, or they come off track. So it's a good time to work between 4 and midnight. I said, okay, that's cool. And I go, how many of these do you do typically? He goes, well, I work for 2 or 3 companies, and I generally do, 1 or 2 an hour. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, and I think he said he got paid like 20%. Might even been 25%. And I'm like, wow, this is a business I need to know about, right? So I go get myself in trouble and take a double truck ad. A double truck ad used to be 2 full pages. Problem with a double truck ad is that costs $11,100 a month, and you're in contract for 12 months, is that in the garage door space, I was the 5th double truck, so page 10. And I knew that, but I still thought as buying a double truck, it's not going to be a big problem to pay the bill. And it started out pretty bad because I signed the deal September 3rd of 2001. And you know where I'm going with this. Several days later, 9/11 happened and the world stopped. I'm holding the bill starting next month at $11,100. And believe it or not, at that time, the phones were not ringing. I had a double truck, $11,100 thing, and I was getting maybe 2 calls a day, closing maybe 1 of them. I mean, it was that bad. Well, as time went on, the chimney business, was able to float out, and I was able to pay that ad for the first 3 months with the chimney business. And I was trying to learn and grow how to close and get more calls in the garage door business, which I did. We started doing okay. But 9/11 had really put a stifling on that business. And I don't know why. I can't explain why the phones wasn't ringing. Because come March, when it started warming up in Texas, phones started ringing. And I started booking 5 to 6, 7, 10 calls a day. And garage door repairs or new garage doors. And we really started going really well. Well, I was behind the ad. I'm paying the ad a couple months and trying to get it paid off. Well, all of a sudden, June happens and the phones die back down. It's like, I mean, we talk about what I was scheduling, let's just say an average of 7 appointments a day to back to 1 to 2. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I to this day can't tell you what happened. It's just a seasonal, when kids get out of school or, or the weather warms up. I don't know. You're thinking June when kids are back to school, it'd be up and down and garage doors, and they have more breaks. And I think there was a little spike when school first started out, but it didn't carry through, and I ended up not paying that bill and getting myself in trouble. And so the point of the thing is I took the risk. And even though it didn't pay off for me, and then later on when I had my appendix rupture a few years later, I was able to put them in a bankruptcy and get them off my ass. Because I'm not going into that story at this point. But yeah, I took a risk. And now I'm not asking you to take an $11,100 a month risk here. I'm asking you to buy, if you need 2 more trucks, buy the damn trucks. Do it. It's the first motivating factor you can do, and it will help you find people to put in there. I know it sounds like that sounds crazy, but if you go buy the trucks, I'll tell you, you will find a way to put people in them. It is that motivating factor to strategically go faster to get it in there. And once you've got the trucks and you start training the people in them, you will start to grow. It will inevitably happen. And I'm talking to most of you guys sitting at under $1 million. The only way to get over $1 million is to have more trucks. You probably are maxed out and booked out for 3 to 6 months. And you're sitting there still making $1 million to 1.2 million, or maybe 800,000. And you're trying to figure out how to bust through to 2 million. Go buy some damn trucks. I'm telling you. Or hire, and then have to go buy trucks. Either way, you've got to do something that's going to generate income. And the way you do it in the service industry is you get your ass on the line with either employees and or trucks or cars if you're a maid service, whatever you got to do. Get the equipment, get it outfitted, and have it lit there and sit at it and look at it every day until you get someone out on it. It'll go faster than you think, and plus you'll have availability to get stuff done. And now if you're booked out 3 months, you'll go to 1 month, which is the perfect. To me, I would rather be booked up 2 weeks every year, all year round, would be the perfect scenario. Maybe even 3. Because 3 gives you that just a little bit of time to prepare more, But if you're booked out more than 3 weeks, you are just wrong. You're understaffed. You're not training enough. You're not hiring enough people. And you're never going to bust 2 million. You're not going to find a lot of $2 million companies. And if you're listening to this, you're not going to find a lot of $2 million companies that are booked up 3 months. They figured out the staffing thing. And so once you figure out the staffing and how many trucks you need, you then can organically grow strategically. But that really is one of the main factors, is put yourself under the gun. Put some stress on you that you need to get motivated, to be dedicated to getting it done. I've never heard of someone buying a truck and it sat there brand new for very long. You figured it out and got someone in there. Break up a crew helper that's ready to drive the new truck. Make him an easy truck. Have him do easy tasks that create cash flow. That's how this works. You don't have to have 4 trucks out there that know how to do everything in your business. No, split it up. Make people that do the easy, good stuff that you can train someone to do. I mean, a lot of businesses you can train someone to do very simply go out and make money for you by doing the very simple tasks that can be bundled into, 4 or 5 things that you can fill them up every day with. It works. And it's funny how people ask me, why didn't I think about that before? Or that seems, a little off. So, well, how else are you going to do it? If you think you're going to go train 5 people and hopefully 2 stick and then go buy trucks, well, you can try that. And it is one of the preferred methods, but I meant to say you're going to go train 2 people. You go train 2 people, they both quit, you're back to square one. That's why you got to go train 5 people and watch them all fall out to where you probably only have one, maybe 1.5. You got one half-ass guy who's good enough to keep because you're waiting to get another guy to fill a truck in, but you got one awesome rock star. And I will tell you this. Most of you guys, I'm going to go down another road here. I'm going to pivot. Most of you guys don't have a rock star sales guy. You're settling for what you have. And I have said this on the podcast before, but I'm going to repeat myself. I am going to make you understand today. I want you to spank yourself. Why do I not have one rock star? Hey, I'm a $4 million company, and I fired every one of the guys we trained last year that made me $4 million, or they quit. And we have rehired every position, and they've gone through a better training process than just what we did last year. My company's become an expert at hiring and training. Educators, sweeps, just doing inspections. So, when you know that and you can do that, you find the rock stars. You get them disc. You call me. I will help you with that. We're looking for someone that is a D, high D in the disc profile, or even a medium I, as long as they got some D personality in them. That's what we're looking for. Now, you can get an S for sales, but problem with S's is they don't seem to be convincing. They just want to help, but they're not convincing. So anyway, I don't want to go down this disc profile stuff. We've talked about this in other podcasts. If not, find my disc one. You can hear how that all boils down to how you disc people. But you don't have a rock star. Why don't you have a rock star? Why do you settle? Why do you torture yourself with below average, not even average guys that can't sell $25,000 a week? I mean, seriously, why? Why do you put yourself through that? When you know you damn well get out there and can sell $40 to $50 to $60, $70,000 a week, yet you settle for someone that's going to do $15,000 a week for you, and you're like, well, that's okay. It's not. You're being a dummy. It's not good. Don't settle. You cannot settle on a guy that doesn't make your ass money. They got to turn the inspections into green, into profits. And if you have one guy, think about this. I have guys literally that do well over $1 million. I had one of them that came in late fall who if he had done he worked most of the third quarter or fourth quarter for me, Marty. If that son of a gun had worked 4 quarters, he'd have been a $2 million plus guy. SBO is over $2,000. His SBO at the shitty time with our first quarter here is still over $1,500. So where's my calculator? Here it is. Guys, do the math. I'm going to do it. Here, do an old Rush Limbaugh thing where you raffle the paper and you do that. That's the calculator. So that is an actual calculator. That's not a fake prop. All right, so you're going to give your guy 3 appointments a week, okay? Or day, excuse me. So let's just say you give him 3. 3 times 5. Fitting. 1, 5. Fitting. 15. Okay. We're going to average, let's just say, 1,500 SPO, which is 22,500 a week. Average. That means he's going to have a $40,000 a week sometimes. Sometimes he's going to have, maybe a $15,000 a week. Very rarely under 15. Guys, that doesn't matter if you're on the East Coast, West Coast, straight up the middle gut of the United States, our beautiful world of the United States we live in, all Midwest and everywhere down to Texas. You have a guy that's doing 15 to 18 appointments a week and he's not selling at least $25,000. You don't have the average guy. I mean, Marty right now is selling well over that. He's actually had a $90,000 sales week, and we don't sell big things. I think he had, on that week, he had one sale that was around 20, 25, but all his average sales were probably around 4 to 6,000. And so if you don't have that, guys, especially if you're, most of you, my listeners here, you're all sweeps that are on the East Coast, you know, why don't you have somebody that's selling over $1 million? And you know you did, and now you're running the business and you're trying to figure it out. Why do you settle on one or two guys that can't do what you do? And it's not because you're the owner. Oh my God, do I hate that. And oh, you're the owner. What the WTF does that mean? So I'm the owner, so I'm just expected to sell better because I care more? So you mean you care less about the dollar bill than I do? You're talking to your sales guy that might tell you some shit like that. Or in your own mind, well, I'm the owner, so I can do this. Why? No one else can do it like me. Well, that's bullshit too. You absolutely can train someone to be better than you. But you got to have the process. You got to find the guy that's going to have the right traits to do it and then train them properly to do it. You work for your employees. So go to work to find the employees that you can assist that'll make you rich. More money. And rich in time. What are you buying? What did Dan Plata last week teach us? You're buying freedom. Freedom! Yes! Build your business. Find some guys that will sell for you. Buy a truck. Buy 3 trucks. Train freedom. Because once you have freedom, let me tell you, I have freedom. I have freedom to do this podcast. I have freedom to go to my cabin. I have freedom to take the week off. I have the freedom to never call my master services chimney company again if I wanted to. And you know what? Last week I didn't even talk to John, my general manager, not once. Didn't talk. Well, we talked to him on Monday. Then I left for Vegas on Tuesday. I didn't talk to him until today, which is Monday. I'm recording on a Monday. Went 7 days without talking to my general manager. And guess what? Nothing happened bad. And if it did, they handled it, and I don't even care. I don't even know. If something great happened, I don't even know about that. I just know what the numbers are. Numbers look good. Numbers look good. We made money last week, and we're going to make money this week. Not terribly a lot of money, but we did last week, and we're going to make money this week again. And then today, my numbers look good. Today, had an average day. Nothing great. Sold. I think our company sold 11,000. Maybe actually kind of slow, but it is what it is that time of year. But guess what? I took that risk. I took that gamble. I bought trucks. I trained more people than I needed. I fired more people than I probably had to find the right people. And guess what? I'm just going to keep doing that till I've got so much freedom for everybody in my company that it's running because I've trained the right people to support my entire company. That's what it boils down to. So, I mean, you got to take and go get yourself in trouble and get motivated to do it. If you're going to sit there and wait for the right time to go buy trucks or train 5 people, keep listening, keep not learning, and stay at under $1 million. And keep scratching your butt how I have to change to do it. Because you're going to have to change something. You're going to have to get in trouble somewhere. And you know what? Going to buy more advertising ain't it. Because you're going to have to buy more trucks anyway. You have to hire more people, you know. Now there is something else to this a little bit. If you're not doing everything a chimney can be done, I'm talking to you now. If you're not rebuilding chimneys, if you're not relining, if you're not parging, if you're not, and I am very specific today talking about chimneys. So I'm sorry if you're a maid service listening, but if you're not doing and this could be a maid service or an electrician, if you're not doing everything the industry standard provides you to do, well, you're leaving money on the table. You know? I mean, I got into business when I first started this 25 years ago, 26 years ago. And I didn't know anything. I knew how to put a multi-flue cap on, do a mortar crown overlay, waterproof, caulk flashing, tuck point, clean a chimney, and repair a gas line. I think I did. That was all I did for years. Might have added the lintel packing, added dampers, added gas logs. All of that created more sales and more stuff, which was nice. And then all of a sudden, I got $1 million business, like in my first, I don't know, maybe 5 years in, I had $1 million business. And then I just, one day, after my bankruptcy and after I almost died of my appendix, I just said, F it. I'm buying more trucks. And I'm going to train people to put in them. I'm going to do it before the fall. I'm going to do it when I have no money and plenty of time, because Texas was July and August. And I did it. And like I said, we busted through from like 800 to $1 million to 1.6. The next year was an easy 2. Then I kind of stagnated there for a while. You know, between 2 and probably 2.5 million for a while, because it was kind of a sweet spot. It really was, because I had just enough people that liked doing what they do. I liked my business, doing what it was. I was still in the business, pretty easy to manage, but I was still one of the biggest chimney sweeps in Texas at the time, with 6 to 8 trucks, whatever, 8 trucks, probably like 5 trucks all year round and 8 trucks in the winter is what I really had. So after I bought those 8 trucks, then we'd lay off a few people, have a 2 trucks sitting. So I mean, kind of moving forward to what we have now. I own 30 trucks, but we only have like 20 trucks on the road. And so it's kind of a miscalculation. I always talk about that we have 30 trucks. Well, we really have 20 on the road. And right now at the fall, right now we have some doubled up. So we're probably right now sitting only at 16 trucks. I have the capability of fielding 30 people, but we don't have it in the off season. It's very hard to staff and keep training and getting up to as many people as you can. Because if I did get up to 30 trucks and had every one of those trucks running, I would have to lay off come January or February. Come February for sure. And I don't like laying off. So we are now at the 4 million mark. We will probably be close to 5 million. Cody thinks we'll be over 5 million easy, and so far he has not been wrong with his projections, and I've pretty much hit mine. And so we're getting ourselves in trouble a little bit. We're going to start adding some more stuff like fireplace sales, which we don't do. We do rip and replacements, but we don't go into, the really seeking out fireplace sales, because what we do is it's rip and replacements off of inspections. We don't actually seek out some stuff. So we're adding to our repertoire of what we have underneath our roof that we can do. Now, if you're a $1 million company, that's absolutely part of the plan. If you're not doing the full service chimney sweep stuff and you're not doing like full masonry, I'll tell you right now, I helped a guy. It's a fairly new client of mine. I think he's been with me and we're starting his 2nd month now. And he asked me, what's the best thing I can do right now? I said, he had 1 truck. Buy another truck and find a mason. First thing I told him. So he did it. He literally bought a truck the next week and, unbelievable, found a mason. Now he's subbing him out because he's little enough he can do that. But he found a mason. First month, he sold 2 or 3 masonry jobs. More than, literally, out of the gate. Guy's only been in business not even a year. Finds a mason, sells 3 masonry jobs to rebuild chimneys. Made a shit ton of money. Why can't everybody do that? We've added masons to my company, and it has made a difference. We probably did an extra $500,000 last year because of it. It was definitely part of how we made up $1 million in the season that we had made up from last year. If you've heard my podcast from before, or what we did last fall, definitely was half of it was due to masonry. So get yourself in trouble. Put yourself under the gun. Do it strategically. Don't be stupid about it. I was a little stupid about it when I did it, but it worked out. And do it. Overhire, overtrain, bring on the trucks, literally. If you're sitting here with 4 trucks, you're like, I don't have time. Well, stop. Get your ass off the road. Make time. Take a step back to take 2 trucks forward. Get yourself out of a truck. Let your 2 or 3 trucks do the work. Get your ass in the office. Put a pot of coffee on. Start interviewing. Find the right guys if they're sales guys, D's and high I's. High D's and any kind of I. Hopefully they got D in them. And the disc. And hire 5 of them even though you need 2. Or even 1. And then get your self back in a truck and train them. It's that simple. And just train them to inspect. Don't train them to do the work. Anyone that's not good at sales, add them to a crew if they're willing to stay. And let them learn the work. That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. It is not that difficult. It is not that hard. The hard part is you doing it. And staying true and stop blocking and saying, I can't find anybody. Well, right now, my company right now, we're hiring like crazy right now. And we're fighting to get every app we can. And it hasn't been that easy, but guess what? I'm not giving up. I've got 2 rock stars, possibly 3 right now. I think I got a 3rd. I got 1 in training too. Or he's out of training, but he's loyal. And I think he's going to be a rock star too. It's going to take him a little longer. He's a little younger. So I think I got 4 rock stars working for me right now. I need 7. I need 7 rock stars. And it's been a journey. But I do think the guys that I have right now that are showing rock stardom are on their way to becoming future career path minded individuals for my company. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, that's going to be my time today. I appreciate it. Go get yourself in trouble. Put yourself to the fire. Get some freedom. Go earn that freedom for yourself. Because I promise you, if you put yourself to your back up against the wall, you're going to fight your ass out of that wall and make it work. So go out there and get yourself in trouble. Do it at your own risk and go ahead and just go out there and make it happen. Guys, that's my time. Appreciate it. By the way, if you're not subscribing to Alan Rush's Morning Minutes, I don't know what you're thinking about. You need to grow your business, learn how to sell. He'll teach you. He'll help you. Bare Hands Pro, it is definitely your inspection process. They won. Congratulations, Mike Fazy and Bare Hands Pro. They won the innovative new product of the year, and boy, did they earn it. I love you, Mike. You guys are doing a great job. Shannon over there. And Zach, hate to see you're leaving, but I think we'll see you back someday, I think. So anyway, thank you so much. By the way, SnapLock, they are your tools for sweeps, and I love their camera system completely. By the way, if you want to find some rock stars and make some rock stars, go ahead and contact me. You can do it through Messenger on Facebook or call me at 972-877-3585. I'm training rock stars. I'm training guys to sell masonry. And I'm telling you right now, I have trained some rock stars. I'm on my 3rd group starting. My first 2 groups, out of, let's say, the 14 participants in my trainees, I've got about half of them have become rock stars, doubled or tripled their sales. Can you imagine if your guy was the rock star and could triple his sales? Like literally go from 10,000 a week to 15,000 a week to 40,000 a week? I got guys doing it. I've trained them how to do it. So guys, give me a call, message me, whatever. We actually have a class starting tomorrow. By the time you listen to this, Wednesday. I'd love to have applicants in. It is only right now, if you get NCSG, the last final little bit, it's $400 for the first month, $500 for the second month to get a guy into my training. I mean, you're kidding me? Are you kidding me? Did you just say, Chad really? You're gonna do for $900 train someone to be a rock star? That's like nothing. So why aren't you signing someone up? Go ahead, call me or message me, and let's get them on the books. All right, guys, that's my time.